This was without a doubt the most difficult interview I had out of all the medical school interviews I had during my application year. Hello and welcome everyone. Today I want to share with you guys my whole experience while interviewing at UMiami Miller School of Medicine. If you're new to the channel, my name is Sai and I'm a first year medical student, MCAT tutor, and pre-med advisor. About a year ago, I had the honor and the opportunity to interview at UMiami Miller School of Medicine, Florida's first medical school, top 1 eye institute in the United States, and one of the top programs in surgical specialties in the US. I am super excited to make this video because this was my dream school and I will be attending Miller School of Medicine in the fall of 2024. So super excited to share with you guys my interview experience and the benefits of staying here in Miami to study medicine. During my application year in 2023, UMiami received around 11,000 applications, out of which 500 students received interviews and only 200 students matriculated. According to the data on their School of Medicine website, the average MCAT is a 515 and their GPA is a 3.8. These stats have increased in the last 2 years, back when I first started doing a little bit of research about the School of Medicine, and it only shows how competitive the whole process is becoming. Not only because medical school is competitive in general, but also because a lot more people are applying and the number of seats are not increasing per medical school. If you guys want to learn a little bit about my stats and my activities, you can go ahead and watch my video on my full MCAT application and ask me any questions if you have any in the comments. They do also make it clear that they don't have a big in-state versus out-of-state preference, since what they're trying to do as part of their mission is to expand the medical school and the demographics of the medical school to include students from all over the United States. I can tell you from the pipeline program I attended at the University of Miami that this is definitely true. I met a lot of medical students from all over the United States from different cultural and social backgrounds, so that is definitely a plus. But enough about numbers, let's talk about the actual interview. Just like any other medical school, UMiami will send you an interview invite and you are going to have to confirm and pick the preferred date and time. Since COVID-19, UMiami has only been hosting interviews through Zoom, which is good and bad at the same time. It is good in terms of the financial aspect because it lowers the cost of the application in general, but it is bad for students who, like me, like that one-on-one interaction and conversations with interviewers. You can expect roughly around 10 to 12 students during your interview day. It is a long day and you can expect to be there from 9 a.m. all the way later than 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yes, I am specifying the time zone because if you live in the West Coast, you are going to be logging in by like 6 a.m. So definitely keep that in mind because you would have to wake up a lot earlier than that. Yes, interview day is going to be very long, but it is going to be super exciting. The first part of your interview day is going to be a welcome to the school. You're going to learn a little bit more about the mission, what the school is all about, a little bit more about the next Gen MD, which I was very excited about. You're going to get to meet faculty, medical students, and members from the admissions committee. After this, you are going to have multiple interview sessions, which are going to be hosting different students. That doesn't mean that you're going to have the interview right after. It just depends on the times that you picked. In terms of the interview format, you're going to have a total of 2 interviews, 1 traditional interview and 1 behavioral interview. The traditional interview is your typical one-on-one type of interview that you can think about, where one person is pretty much leading the way, asking the questions, and the interviewer tries to make conversation by not only answering questions, but try to expand on their argument and answers. On the other hand, the behavioral interview is arguably more difficult because it really tests your ability to react to ethical and moral scenarios where you really have to elaborate an answer. This was without a doubt the most difficult interview I had out of all the medical school interviews I had during my application year. If you want a video on how I prep for it, leave it in the comments. In general, the interviews are going to last around 30 to 50 minutes. It really depends on the interviewer and the conversation that you're having with those interviewers. I can tell you that I have physicians and faculty members as part of my interviewers and they were amazing. These individuals made sure to read my application. They knew who I was before getting to the interview and they just had questions about my path and kind of like my timeline. They cared a lot about my diversity and where I came from, and I really think that they made a big effort on trying to understand my cultural background. One was a surgeon who was also doing research, and I even asked him questions about the research that he was doing and the potential of me joining his lab. So again, it's a conversation, have fun with it. All they want to do is try to get to know you, not only academically because they already did it, but also trying to get to know you as a human being. So just be relaxed and try to be yourself. In the middle of the day, you are going to have a lunch break for about an hour. And during that time, you're going to be able to speak to medical students during a Q&A session while also eating. This was fun because it gave you a better understanding of the curriculum, what it meant for them to switch or to go for a more fast-paced curriculum and clinical-based type of approach. You're also going to have the opportunity to tour the medical school. However, I did not do it because I was already part of the pipeline program. I was familiar with the whole structure of the school, kind of what it looks like, so I decided not to do it. But if you're from out of state and you haven't been exposed to the medical school, I truly recommend you to go visit and be exposed to what it means to be a medical student at UMiami. The reason why the day is so long is because some of the interviews are going to be later on. But even if your interview is, let's say, at 3 p.m., 4 p.m., you are going to have to attend every session during that day and wait until your interview session. There is no order on these interviews, so you could have the behavioral interview first and then the traditional, or vice versa. If you found the video helpful, I would love for you guys to like the video and subscribe and leave any comments that you have at the bottom so I can continue making videos and sharing my experience with you guys. I'll see you next time.